I'm going off the top of the head, so.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
So am I. That's
All right.
how I do it. Oh, all right. Hello, everybody. Hello, good people of the internet. I am joined today on this episode a very good friend of the podcast, co-host of the CNE podcast, and the QT Marshall Stan himself, one Mr. Cameron. How you doing, sir?
I am doing good, man. Yes, sir. As you see, the username of QT Marshall Stain. Cause look, man, I'm sick of y'all disrespecting my man, bro. Every time I go on the internet, bro, every time I go on Twitter for Dynamite, y'all always disrespecting my man. Oh, he boring. Oh, he boring. Oh, this feud with Big Show some trash. Oh, why we gotta watch QT Marshall? I'm gonna change the channel. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting my man, and y'all gonna put some respect on my man, and y'all gonna put some respect on my boy's name, which is why I am a QT Marshall stan. But in all seriousness, though, man, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back on the Ringerz podcast, talking AEW All Out, which should be the pay per view of the year. This card looks like it's gonna be the pay per view of the year, and I hope it's a lot better than last year's show. Last
This
year's show wasn't bad, but I didn't think last year's show really lived up to the expectations of what we really expect from AEW.
this is probably the most stacked card of a pay per view I've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
And earlier today, I believe it was announced that due to travel problems, uh, Pac versus Andrade has been postponed and won't be on the card unless a match is thrown together last minute. I believe the replacement is the Casino Women's Royale. So let's talk about this match first. Who do you think's going to win it, and who do you think the Joker will be?
In terms of who I have winning the Battle Royal, my first pick was going to be Thunder Rosa. I thought Thunder Rosa was going to win the Battle Royal. She hasn't really been doing it right now in AEW, so I thought maybe she wins it because I do think the end game here is Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. I think Thunder Rosa is taking that off Britt Baker when it's time. But now that but since they said since they said that the winner will get a title shot on television, I had to change my pick a little bit here, and so I'm going to. She's been on television the last 2 weeks. She's been on television the last 2 weeks. She's been racking up wins on AEW Dark Elevation and AEW Dark. And she's somebody who hasn't really done a lot this year in AEW, but I'm hoping that changes soon. I'm going with Tay Conchi. I think I'm going with Tay Conchi. I think Tay Conchi wins the. I think Tay Conchi wins the Casino Royal this year, and I think her match with Britt Baker when she gets it on Dynamite is going to be very, very good. And in terms of who I think the Joker entrant is, I think Joker is Ruby Soho. I think Ruby Soho is the Joker entrant this year in the battle. I think Ruby Soho is the Joker entrant in the Casino Battle Royal.
Very interesting picks. To me, I believe that after the performance shown at Empower, I believe the winner might be Layla Hirsch. I
Ooh,
think her and Britt could put on a clinic. It very well could be one of the most underrated feuds in the company's history so far. And in terms of the Joker, I actually have three picks, but I only believe in two of them. I think it'll either be Tessa, even though she hasn't really shown interest in signing, um, Chelsea Green or Ruby Soho. Either one could be mind blowingly huge for this very good but lackluster women's roster.
oh, okay, okay. Okay. With the Tesla one, I want to talk about the Tesla one. I want to talk about the Tesla one. I don't think the I don't think Tessa Blanchard is ever going to AEW, and here's why. I just think that because with all the time that I just think that because I think if she was going to be signed by a major promotion, she would have been signed already. The fact that she's not, and you heard stories about her and Impact and how she's very difficult to work with. Apparently, I just don't think Tessa Blanchard is gonna be in AEW. I just don't think Tessa Blanchard is gonna be in AEW. I don't think she's gonna be in any major promotion really. But I like the what's it called? But I like that but I like those two picks though. And Tessa Blanchard coming that would shock me. So I like those two picks of Tessa and
Very
Chelsea.
unexpected in wrestling. You can never say never. Um,
Yeah, that is true.
the next match that I would like to talk about, the hometown hero, the returning, the return I've watched maybe 7-ish times. CM Punk versus Darby Allin. It's probably obvious, but I believe Punk will win. But in the process, he'll try and put Darby over, or sorry, he'll try to get him over, even more so than he already is. And this is the perfect match to establish both men even further.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Do you think this match main events? I think this match main events. I think this match should
It
main
has
event.
to.
Quite frankly, I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you. Look, I'm in agreement with you. Look. I most of the time I agree that the world title match headlines the show, but it's CM Punk in his first match in 7 years in Chicago, of all
Mhm.
places.
Yeah.
Therefore, this has to be the main event. CM Punk's first match back in 7 years in a match in Chicago. He could be wrestling me on. He could have been wrestling me at All Out. This was going to be the main event. This should be the main event. This should be the main event because me, this is the biggest match on the show. But I think Punk wins. I think Punk beats Darby Allin. I don't think Punk should be losing his first match in 7 years. I don't think Punk should be losing his first match in 7 years. Darby Allin can take a loss. Darby can take a loss. Darby can take a loss. Darby Allin can take a loss. And a loss to and Darby losing, it won't hurt him. It won't hurt him at all.
No.
But Punk has to win his first match back in 7 years. So I'm going with Punk.
And to me, this should go on last, but even if it opens, I wouldn't hate it because they're in Chicago on pay per view. You already know during the buy-in, the CM Punk chants will be deafening. Why not give the fans what they want right away? Because looking at this card, no match to me will disappoint. So putting this on first wouldn't be the worst idea, but it should main event.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. This match should absolutely outline. But I think this is probably the most anticipated match of the year.
Now let's talk about what very well could be the last match in the career of one of my all-time favorites, Chris Jericho versus MJF. This feud has been the best story told in the company's time. Perfect feud, and really, if you think about it, Jericho fought his past and beat the future in a span of 5 weeks, but lost to MJF week 5. This is their last meeting, and it could be the end of Jericho, but my money is on Jericho.
I'm in agreement with you, man. I'm in agreement with you. First off, I don't like the fact. First off, I don't like the fact that they added this. I don't like the fact that they added the whole retirement stipulation. I really don't. I don't like the fact that they added the retirement stipulation because if they didn't add the retirement stipulation, MJF just could have won. And I think MJF should be winning this match. I think MJF should be winning this feud. But now that they added the retirement step, it's Jericho's going to win. Because I don't think Chris Jericho is done wrestling in AEW. I hope he's not done wrestling in AEW because I don't want Chris Jericho on the fucking commentary table on AEW Rampage. I don't want him on commentary at all. If he's on commentary, I'm eating the television. If he's on commentary, I'm eating the television. So I don't think he's done wrestling at all. I don't think he is. So therefore, I think Jericho's winning. So therefore, I think Jericho's winning. Plus, that's the way the story's been panned out now. Chris Jericho's really desperate for a win against MJF. The story seems to be that Jericho is going to beat MJF because he has to. If he doesn't, he can't wrestle anymore. But I don't like the fact that they added this whole retirement stipulation to it because I think MJF should be winning. But I don't think he is because I don't think Jericho's hurt. To me, I don't know about you, Zach, but to me, I think Tony Khan made a mistake doing the fifth labor on Dynamite instead of saving the fifth labor for All Out. I think that was a mistake there. I think that was a big mistake there.
The build up to it should have been MJF after Jericho beat Wardlow. He should have said, "If you want me, you have to wait a little longer," and it would be at All Out. It would have gotten rid of this dip. I would have believed them JF winning, and it Jericho losing at All Out, the biggest card they've ever done. It would have been perfect to crown MJF the new king of wrestling.
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely would have been. Yeah, it absolutely would have been. I think the retirement. Yeah, it absolutely would have been the whole retirement stipulation. I think this was a big. I think this was a big mistake. I think this is a big mistake, and I'm not a fan of the retirement stip at all. Not a fan of the retirement stip at all. But I think Jericho's winning. I think Jericho's beating MJF. And if MJF loses, I don't think it's going to be something where MJF is dead or MJF is bad or anything like that. First off, that's a word people got to stop throwing around. Buried. People throw around the word buried for no reason.
Yeah,
Somebody gets, you lose one match and all of a sudden you're buried. People don't know what the word buried means. I don't think this is going to be a burial. If MJF loses, I don't think this is going to be a burial at all. Plus, if MJF loses, you could always have MJF come out on TV. You can go, I'm 2-1 against Chris Jericho. I beat Chris Jericho twice. I beat Chris Jericho twice. So technically, I won the feud. You could always do something like that. But I think Jericho's winning.
he doesn't need this win, but with the stip, he really needs it. But let's move on to for me the one match that I was hoping was put on this show, the TNT title match, Miro versus one of my favorites right now, Mr. Eddie Kingston. As much as I want Eddie to win because he could do some magic with this title, Miro's got to take this one. He's looked untouchable ever since he turned on Kip. I'll be surprised but happy if he loses, but I'm picking Miro.
I'm picking Miro too. I'm picking Miro too. I don't think Tony Khan should be losing. Not Tony Khan, excuse me. I don't think Miro should be losing the TNT title right now. I just don't. Miro's got a good thing going for him, right? The wave. I don't think Eddie Kingston is the one to beat him. But if he does beat him, I think Eddie Kingston. But if he does beat him, I think Eddie Kingston is going to do it in New York. I think he's going to do it on that Grand Slam show in New York.
Yeah,
If he does beat him, for it. But in all honesty, I think Sammy G is the guy to take the TNT title from Miro. I think Sammy G should be the guy to take the TNT title from Miro when it's time. From Miro when it's time. But I think Miro retains it. I think Miro retains over
he has
Eddie
to.
Kingston.
He has to.
Yeah.
I believe he was always made to be the top guy. So if he does lose, he should be thrown right into the number one spot in the power rankings because this would be his first loss since he debuted.
Yeah, yeah. Would be his first loss since he debuted. I love. First off, I love Miro. What we're getting from Miro here, I love it. I love Miro. Miro to me is so versatile. To me, he's so versatile. He can play any role you need him to play it off. You need a
Mhm.
dominant foreign heel, if you need a monster foreign heel, that's what Miro debuted as in WWE. If you need a monster heel, that's what Miro is playing out. If you need somebody who can do, if you need somebody to be like a comedy babyface, Miro can do comedy. We saw that in WWE. He's very funny. He's a very natural and funny guy. To me, Miro is a fuck. To me, Miro is so versed. To me, Miro is so versatile. He can really play any role you need him to play, and that's one of the
Yeah.
things I love. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad he's in AEW because he's really getting that opportunity right now. WWE really fumbled the ball with Miro, but him in
Yeah.
AEW right now has been absolutely amazing.
And next is the AEW women's title match. Chris Statlander challenging the love of my life, Britt Baker. I cannot go against Britt Baker. I recently ordered a Baker shirt, so I am all in on her. I'm picking Britt.
I'm going with you're going with Britt. I'm going with Britt too. I'm going with Britt Baker too. I think it's way too soon for Britt. I think it's way too early for Britt Baker to be dropping the AEW Women's Championship. Uh, to be dropping the AEW Women's Championship. I think it's way too soon. I think it's way too soon. I think it's way too soon. You got to give it. You got to give it a couple. I think it's way too soon. You got to give it a couple of. I think you got to give it a couple months, but I think Thunder because but I think it would be way too soon to take the championship off Britt Baker here. So Britt Baker's my pick to retain.
And after this, we'll talk about Mr. Quality Television versus Paul White. I feel like this match.
Quality television, Marshall,
I
against Paul White.
believe this match has been slept on because of I don't want to say he's a bad worker, but the giant of Paul White versus a much smaller opponent. Um, I I'm not fully sure on who I want to win this match, but for the sake of this video, I'm picking QT Marshall.
There you go. I think QT loses on Sunday. Unfortunately, I think QT loses on Sunday. I think this is an easy one for Big Show. I'm calling him Big Show. I'm calling him Big Show. That's the one I know him. I'm so used to calling him Big Show, so I'm calling him
Yeah.
Big Show. But that's the. I think Big Show wins. I think this is an easy one for Big Show. In all honesty, I think Big Show wins and QT moves on. But I don't know what QT does from here. He should be wrestling for the fucking world title. Tony Khan, put that championship on quality television, Marshall. But I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. So I think Big Show wins.
It very well could be one of the most underrated on this card. But after that, we'll talk about now John Moxley versus Satoshi Hajima. I apologize if I butchered that. I know Satoshi is one of the greatest to come out of All Japan slash New Japan. Um, but I gotta pick Moxley.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you. I think this is an easy one for John Moxley. I think this is an easy win for I think this is an easy win for John Moxley here. Very cool though seeing Kojima on a show like this. Very cool seeing Kojima on a show like this. There's a lot of Kojima disrespect online because some people don't know who he is. That's fine, but we were not able to get Tanahashi. We were not able to get Tanahashi because it just wouldn't have been viable. It just wouldn't have been viable at the moment. But a lot of people disrespected Kojima like this was a disappointment. Do yourself a favor. For the people that don't know who Kojima is, do yourself a favor. There's this lovely thing called YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. When this when this podcast is done, go online. When this podcast is done, stick around on YouTube. Stick around on YouTube stick around on YouTube and search Kojima in the search engine and watch his matches. If you don't know who he is, if you don't know who you is, if you don't know who he is, educate yourself. But it's not a disappointment because you don't know who he is.
Now we get to what could end up being the greatest tag team match since Hangman and Kenny versus the Young Bucks from Revolution last year, I think it was. Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers in a steel cage. If any team deserves to be champs right now, besides PNP, it's got to be the Lucha Brothers, and that's who my money's on.
This match for me is very tough to call. First off, I cannot wait to see what Ray Phoenix does in this what Ray Phoenix does in this match here. I cannot wait to see what he does here, and I cannot wait to see what he does here. And I posted this on Twitter as a joke, but I think as a joke, but I think this is on. But I think I'm only kidding when I say, Zach, do you remember the spot from a show in TNA 2004? I think it was Unbreakable. TNA 2004. It was America's Most Wanted against Christopher Daniels and Elix Skipper. And Elix Skipper does one of the greatest things I've ever seen in wrestling. Elix Skipper tightrope walks the cage. He tightrope walks the cage and delivers a Hurricane Rana to James. I think it was James Storm. Do you remember that spot? Have you seen that spot?
Of course I do, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think we get that spot in this match here. I think we get a spot in this match here or something similar to this match here. I hope we don't get a Canadian Destroyer off the top of the cage. I really don't. I really hope we don't get a Canadian Destroyer off the top of the cage.
I think it'll either be a Canadian Destroyer or a Spanish Fly.
I think that's what it could be too. But here's the thing. If we show last night, I would have said the Lucha Brothers because the Young Bucks pinned the Lucha Brothers on Dynamite last night, right? And typical wrestling logic, or at least in WWE in a way, is that whoever gets the upper hand on the Go Home show usually gets the win at the pay-per-view. How many times have we seen this? That's usually wrestling logic. I remember last year MJF laid out John. I remember last year MJF laid out John Moxley on the Go Home show to All Out. Moxley retained the title at All Out. I think so because that happened because Ray Phoenix was pinned last night. I think the Lucha Bros are winning the tag team titles inside of Steel Cage. But here's the thing that conflicts me about it. Lucha Bros win the tag team titles. I still think the right way to go is to have Santana and Ortiz won the tag team titles at the AEW Dynamite Grand Slam show in New York. Hometown boys. The entire stadium is going to be behind them. And when they win the tag team titles, the roof is going to come off. The roof is going to come off the place.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to do a thing where we put the championships on the Lucha Bros, only for the Lucha Bros to drop it 2 weeks later to Santana and Ortiz. So if the Lucha Bros win here, I don't think Santana and Ortiz are winning the tag team titles in New York, which I still think is the end game. So by that logic, I think the Young Bucks win because I don't want to see the Lucha Bros win and the Lucha Bros get a 2 week title reign. I think that would be meaningless. They get the
Having
Lucha Bros and win and give them a
champion would look pretty bad, but I know that a lot of people are tired of the elite every week. So them winning or losing can both be a good thing. It all depends on what the plans really are for PNP.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in agreement with you. But I also don't think the Lucha Bros should be losing at all out, especially since Ray Phoenix got pinned on Dynamite. He got pinned on Dynamite by Matt. He got pinned on Dynamite by Matt Jackson. Now, why he got pinned, I did not. Now, why he got pinned, I do not know. I don't understand why Jungle Boy couldn't take the pin and Luchasaurus couldn't take the pin. It had to be Ray Phoenix. If the Lucha Bros lose again on Sunday, I think it really does hurt the Lucha Bros. If the Lucha Bros lose on Sunday, I think it really does hurt them. But I don't want to put the titles on them but I don't want to put the titles on them just for them to be transitional champions. I don't know which way they're going to go here.
Either way, if the Lucha Brothers win, fans will be happy. If Young Bucks retain but lose it, I believe September 22nd, fans would be happy. It really depends on the long-term plan.
Yeah, but I think this is the toughest match on the show to call. And I think they booked themselves into a corner here. I really do. I think AEW booked themselves into a corner here. I like the Lucha Bros a lot, but I think they booked themselves into a corner here.
And the last match we'll be talking about is Kenny Omega, the AEW champ, versus Christian Cage, the new Impact World Champion. I can't see Kenny losing twice to the same person back to back matches. Kenny's got to get this win. Christian has proven he can beat Kenny. Now, Kenny needs to prove he can beat Christian, and All Out seems like the perfect time.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you. I think this is the easiest match on the show to predict. Kenny beats Christian. Kenny Omega is beating Christian for two reasons. One, I don't think when Kenny Omega drops the AEW title, it should be to Adam Hangman Page at full. That is who the person is to take the championship off Kenny Omega. So therefore, I think Kenny Omega is winning tonight. Is winning on Sunday. I think Kenny Omega retains on Sunday, and what should be a very good match. Now, Zach, I want to ask you this because I was talking with a friend of mine, and because I was talking with a friend of mine, and me and him had different takes on this. He says that if CM Punk and Darby Allin is going to main event the show, then this match should open the show because he said, and then this match should open the show because he said Kenny Omega right now is on one of the best runs we've ever seen in wrestling, and Roman Reigns said he said he kind of compared Kenny and Roman said Roman had a quote saying that he wants to go on either first or last. If he's not first, if he's not last, he wants to go on first. He doesn't want to go on in the he doesn't want to go on in the middle of the show. He wants to be first or last. He said it would kind of be disrespectful in his opinion of Kenny Omega and the work he's been doing so far to put Kenny in the co-main event spot. So let me ask you this: do you think this match is the co-main event, or do you think this match opens the show?
That's a very good question. Um, I believe it should open for the simple reason that this is Punk's first match in 7 years in Chicago as well, going up against one of the top wrestlers in the company. The Punk should go on last. Him winning in the main event would send the fans home extremely happy.
Yeah,
It only makes sense to have him last, and Kenny should be first as well.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I thought that was a very interesting point you made there. I thought that was a very interesting point you made there. Is like if Kenny ain't last, he should be first. I thought that was a very good point.
Is there anything else you wanted to add on?
What do you want to talk about this here? Even though the Pac Andrade match is off, apparently I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, but apparently Andrade is going to be holding some sort of open challenge at the show since he's not going to be able to wrestle Pac. Do you want to talk about who accepts the open challenge?
I think it'll be a debut,
I think
and rumored earlier in the week, or I think it could be Adam Cole.
see. Here's the
But
thing. Go ahead.
good.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think it should be a debut because I think that would be a mistake. I think that would be a mistake to have it be a debut. Like, if it's going to be Daniel Bryan, I think that would be a mistake because I don't think Daniel Bryan should be losing his first match in AEW, and I don't think Andrade should be losing right now at all. I'm not saying Andrade can't lose. I just don't think Andrade right now, I don't think Andrade should be losing. And if it's going to be somebody like Daniel Bryan, I don't think Daniel Bryan should be losing either. And with Adam Cole, look, Daniel Bryan is going to be at All Out. I think it was confirmed. So I think it was not confirmed, but it got leaked. It got leaked by the same people who leaked the CM Punk stuff. So with Adam Cole, I wouldn't debut Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, and Ruby Soho all on the same show. I wouldn't debut them all on the same show after you just got done debuting Punk in your company a couple weeks ago. I think that would be a mistake to have Cole, Bryan, and Ruby Soho on the same show. Spread them out a little bit. You want to have Ruby Soho on the show? I think she's going to be the Joker. That's fine. You want to have Daniel Bryan on the show? I think that's fine. But with Adam Cole, save Adam Cole's debut for later. Debut him at the New York show in 2-3 weeks. But I think you want to spread the big debuts out. I think you want to spread the big debuts out. And I don't think either man should be losing if it's the debut. So that's why I don't like it being a debut. Here's my pick. I'm going with Sammy Guevara. I think Sammy Guevara is answering Andrade's open challenge. I think Sammy Guevara is answering Andrade's open challenge. Sammy Guevara is not on the pay-per-views. Sammy Guevara is not on the pay-per-view Sunday night. He has nothing to do, so we know he'll be free in Chicago. Why not when Andrade issues the challenge? Why not have Sammy G? Why have Sammy G come out and accept the challenge and have Sammy G beat Andrade? Not Sammy G beat Andrade, but have Andrade beat Sammy G. And I don't think a loss would hurt Sammy G right now. Sammy G goes in there for a little bit, looks really good against Andrade. I think it's a win-win for everybody.
See, and if he wasn't on a very good run currently, I would say have him lose. But at this point, I don't really believe he should be taking a loss. If anyone could accept it, it should be probably Dante Martin or Daniel Garcia.
I did not think about Dante Martin. accepting the challenge.
Both have been performing well. They aren't on any kind of run. It wouldn't really hurt them. It's a win for Andrade, and either one of them could put on a very good match with him as well.
Okay. I like that. I did not think of Daniel Bryan not Daniel Bryan, excuse me. Danny Garcia reminds me of Daniel Bryan. That's why I've been calling him Daniel Bryan, because he reminds me a lot of him. But I did not think about Danny Garcia or Dante Martin, so I did not think of that.
Well, that's why I'm here. Anything else you want to add, talk about?
No, that's it. That's it on my end.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. Where can people find you and the See Any podcast?
Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. Make sure you subscribe to the CNE podcast, available on all platforms. A lot of good stuff coming to the podcast in the next coming weeks, next coming months. So if that interests you, make sure you subscribe to the CNE podcast, available on all platforms.
And I will leave the Spotify link in the description. And with that, we will be closing out episode 9 and the all out predictions. Thank you again for joining me tonight. No question, All Out will be pay-per-view of the year.
Yes, sir. This will be pay-per-view of the year.
All right, and we are calling it a wrap right now.